Hello guys, a very good morning once again, and I hope you'll be having a great day. And this is lecture 3, and in the previous class, that's our topic 3, we have discussed about acts and law. So yeah, we have discussed, this is our syllabus: study material, statutory update, revision test papers, MTPs, previous examination questions. So in our study material, we have two subjects, right? Two different laws, two different subjects: Income Tax Act and GST, and we have bifurcated income tax law into different components: Income Tax Act, Income Tax Rules, Income Finance Act, Notifications and Circulars, Judiciary Pronouncements. In case of Income Tax Act, so what's an act and what's an law? Law is a bigger term, act is a smaller term, narrow term, and all these things constitute income tax law. All these five things. So let's move to Constitution of India. So to understand the act, first we have to understand the Constitution, the dad of all the acts. Constitution of India, the supreme law of India, supreme act of India, like supreme law of India, and it has preamble, 25 parts, it has articles, that's nothing but its subject matter. It has schedules. Schedule is nothing but additional information to the articles, and we have about 448 articles and 12 schedules. And article number 246 together with a 7 schedule gives us 3 lists. So what are these 3 lists? Union list, state list, and concurrent list. And these 3 lists says that what are the matters on which central government can make laws, what are the matters on which state government can make laws, and what are the matters on which central government and state government together can make laws. And in union list, in central government list, we have income tax and we have customs duty. In state list, we have it's not artificial intelligence, it's agricultural income, and entry number 51 is alcoholic liquor for human consumption and electricity. So these are the things on which state government can make laws and state government levy tax. Central government prevails in case of dispute. So in case of concurrent list, there are 47 entries. If there is any dispute between central government and state government, central government decision prevails. So yeah, I hope this is clear, and let's continue with our subject. So we have completed with our Constitution of India. So Constitution of India has given us these 3 lists. Now where are we? We are talking about Income Tax Act. So this is the power of the central government. Constitution have given this power to central government, that central government can levy tax on income tax. But can it directly levy income tax on people's income? No, it can't directly levy income tax on people's income. First, what it has to do is it has to pass an act. Income Tax Act has to be passed. There is a mechanism for it. First, what central government will do is, central government matlab, now we have BJP in power, that's our government in power. So what example, let's assume income tax is passed right now, Income Tax Act is passed right now. First, Income Tax Act will prepare a bill is nothing but an act which isn't enforced yet. So this income tax will prepare bill, Finance Act, Income Tax Act bill, Income Tax bill. It will not be called as act yet, Income Tax bill, and it will take this to Parliament. In Parliament, both the houses, that is Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, should accept this bill with majority. Don't go into technical terms, let's leave them, but this is the concept. Both Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha should accept this. Then that bill will get President's assent. That's nothing but President permission. Then it will be termed as Act. In our example, it is Income Tax Act. In which year it has been passed? In year 1961 it has been passed. So that's how our Income Tax Act 1961 has come into existence. That is the background story of it. I hope it is clear for you guys. and I think it can be more clearer than this. Yeah, so yeah, we are done with this. Now let's move to second thing. What is income tax rules 1962? So we have passed Income Tax Act in 1961. Through all this process we have passed the Income Tax Act, but now the point comes is, how do we apply that act? Who will execute that act? So there should be somebody who will execute and who will be taking that power into hands, and who will, that income tax department has to take, what income tax department will do is, it will take the power in their hands and it will make the people to pay the tax. So it will send notices to people. If people doesn't pay the tax, it will go to proceedings, and it will levy fines, it will jail the people. So yeah, all those things will happen. So for that to happen, there should be somebody who should be overseeing all this. So whole this thing is legislative part, matlab making law. And after this comes executionary part, matlab making it happen, making the law, converting the law into practice, making it happen. So our CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes, does this. So our Central Board of Direct Taxes has formed Income Tax Rules 1962 in the year 1962. So these are the rules for how the tax has to be paid, at what time it has to be paid. So all those practical rules, basically how do the practical things should happen. Okay, so yeah, so in income tax we have previous year and assessment year. So when Income Tax Act is passed in 1961, why did they wait for year 1962 to pass this, to make this income tax rules and all? Why did they do this? Why? Because in income tax we have concept of previous year and assessment year. So previous year is nothing but the year in which income is earned. Assessment year is nothing but the year in which income earned in the previous year will be taxed. Income earned in the previous year will be taxed. Year in which income is earned. So that's the difference between them both. So basically income tax, what happened is, example in 2022-23, this is 2022-23, income is earned. So this income earned in this year, on this tax should be paid. Tax is calculated and paid. Assessment means nothing but calculation of tax. Assessment year, that's the reason why the name, it has a name called assessment year. Tax is calculated and paid in this year. So the income earned in 1961 and 1962, this income is taxed in 1962 and 1963. So when people are getting taxed, that's when comes the practical part. That's when comes the need for rules. Okay, in this year income is earned, I agree, but tax is paid in this year, no, in year 1962-63, no. So now in this year there is need for these rules. So after 1 year, when there is need for these rules, they have created these rules, income tax rules 1962. So that's the reason why it is 1961 for Income Tax Act and 1962 for income tax rules. So that's our thing, second thing. So let's move to Finance Act right now. So So what is Finance Act? So what has happened is in 1961 Income Tax Act has come in 1961. Okay, now we are in which year? 2024-25. Is the world same? World is the country, is the world, is the nation same till now? In even after this 40 plus 20 65 years, even after this 65 years, do you think that all the things are same right now? Shouldn't the act get little updated? Or the cost same, or the standard of living same? Is the cost of the gold same? At that time gold was like 500 for 10 grams, like that. Now it is 75,000 approx. So many things have changed, right? So we can't apply same act till now. So what government will do is, every year government will amend this Income Tax Act by way of this Finance Act. Okay, so what government will do is, every year what will happen is, on Feb 1st, our finance minister, this is very important, yeah, very important. You guys have to know this, and there is no option for you to not know. Okay, you have to know this as a professional, as a CA aspirant and CA student. You have to know this, so please do focus. This is very much important. On February 1st, our finance minister, our Nirmala Sitharaman ji, right now, brings budget to Parliament. We know, right? We have different powers in this list: union list, state list, and concurrent list. But government can't directly apply those powers. What they have to do is they have to pass an act. So yeah, right now, every year what government will do is, government will in budget, what government will calculate is, government will calculate, example, in this 2024, let's not take this year, this is an election year, let's take 2023. In 2023 itself, on February 1st, Nirmala Sitharaman ji will calculate all this, like before 6 months only she will calculate all this, and on Feb 1st 2023, let's assume she has bought this budget suitcase to Parliament. In this budget suitcase, what it will carry is, what it will have in that suitcase is, all the expenses that government is going to make on the country for next 1 year, like from February 1st to next year February, what government is going to, next year April actually, like till March end, financial year end, what government is going to spend on this country, all the expenses that government is going to spend, and what are the incomes, what are the sources for money for that expenses. For that expenses they need money, right? What are the sources from where they'll get that income to spend on that, and they'll also take loans, don't worry, and on which sectors they'll have focus on which sectors. So all these details she'll carry in that budget suitcase, all those files, and she'll take it to Parliament. Okay, so this income part, this government will have taxes, income from taxes, and other income too. Like government will have its own owning in public companies, it will have its own shareholding, it will have its own some businesses like non-profit but government businesses, something like that. So for this taxes part, this we call it as finance bill. Why? It isn't passed yet, it isn't passed from the Parliament. Okay, it's in budget stage now. So this finance bill is in this budget. Here its finance bill is also there, that's relating to income, that too only relating to taxes. So these these things she'll carry to parliament. After parliament they'll fight a lot for 1-2 months, and by the end of February or so they'll pass this budget. Then this finance bill will form as Finance Act. So yeah, obviously President assent will be there here. President assent, Finance Act. So every year they have to update this Finance Act. So they'll do it through Finance Act. Sorry, Income Tax Act. They'll update Income Tax Act through Finance Act. So yeah, Finance Act 2023. 24 has also come. Don't worry. Yeah. In our example, we have took 2023. So we are clear with Finance Act as well. I hope it's clear. So Income Tax Act is so much old and it's outdated. It will be outdated. So every year we'll update that Income Tax Act through Finance Act basically. So yeah, I hope you guys got it. And let's move to notifications and circulars. What are notifications? What are notifications? Okay, and circulars. So circulars basically are given by CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. That's nothing but executionary. So we have discussed it here. Executionary part of this Income Tax Act. So Income Tax Act, to get Income Tax Act applicable practically, CBDT will issue some circulars. Circulars are nothing but they'll give some clarifications. So we already know that how laws will be there. Like even though we can understand English, we will not be able to understand that English. Okay, it is not even British or American. We can't even know which kind of English it is. That's how complex it will be. So yeah, don't worry, I'll clarify it. Yeah. So that kind of ambiguity, to curb that kind of ambiguity, the Income Tax CBDT will issue these circulars. So these circulars will be binding on only assessing officers. Like income tax, only on income tax officers these circulars are binding. It will not be binding on the people, assessees. Okay. And what about notifications? Notifications are generally issued by government, directly government. Which government? Central government. It's income tax, right? Central government has power to levy taxes. So central government will have power. And some notifications may also be issued by CBDT, but those notifications are limited to rules. So this income tax rules, we have this income tax rules, right? So regarding this income tax rules, CBDT can issue notifications too. Notifications, in case of, what do you mean by notifications? Notifications are nothing but they'll notify from when a provision will apply basically. So example, the GST on, let's assume, take it an example, let's assume the GST on, it's other subject, but still the GST on gold is 3%. Okay, so they have increased it to 5% in this finance bill, Finance Act or Finance Bill, and they have given a notification that that 3% to 5% change will apply from September 1st. Like they can give like this on this notifications. So that's how they'll serve. That's how their purpose. I hope we are clear with notifications too. We are done with notifications. We are done with Finance Act. We are done with income tax rules. We are done with Income Tax Act 2. Now judicial pronouncements. So just now we have discussed that how complex the law will be, the language of law will be, and so for ordinary people it's impossible to understand that. So that's why what court will do is, courts will try to interpret such laws, okay, such acts, laws, etc. So that's the reason why courts are there. Okay, so to interpret this thing, You have to know Constitution of India and all. So yeah, I hope it is clear to you. I hope it is very much clear to you, like what is income tax law. Now let's move on to GST. So in case of GST, we'll again have Finance Act. Same Finance Act will consist provisions relating to changes in provisions relating to income tax, and it will also consist changes in provisions relating to GST too. Okay, and it will also have other acts, like we have Finance Act here. That is fine, that is very much fine. Apart from Finance Act, we have Income Tax Act, rules and all that. In spite of all this, we'll have here. So yeah, we'll have here 35 acts are there in GST. Literally 35 acts are there in GST, and we'll also have notifications and circulars. Okay, circulars, notifications. Yep, I hope it is very much clear to you. So in GST subject, we are going to learn this Finance Act, amendments by this Finance Act, and 35 acts. The important ones are only 4. Don't worry, we'll discuss about that. We'll also have notifications and circulars. The notifications and circulars here are same like this, same like our income tax notification and circulars, except in case of GST. In case of GST, we'll have here not CBDT, Central Board of Indirect Taxes, CBIT, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, CBIC. Yep, Indirect Taxes and Customs. Yeah, so let's move. What are these 35 acts? I hope you are wondering what I think you are wondering about this, right? What are these 35 acts that we have in our GST? I think you are very much surprised with this number, but yeah, it's not that hard. The number is correct, but that's not that important. Let's see. In that, there are 28 states in India. There are 28 states, and each state has its own SGST Act. Okay, SGST Act. How many states are there? We have 28 states, and we also have 3 union territories with legislature. Legislature matlab it has, those union territories has its own assembly. Everything is getting connected here. This is GST. We are into GST right now. These 3 union territories with legislature is very important point. Okay, we'll discuss it again. I'm just giving you an look ahead here. Okay, so we have 28 states and 3 union territories with legislature. So even though these are union territories, they'll be considered as states for GST purposes. So total here 31 acts are done here itself. Okay, we are clear with 31. Cool, only 4 left right now. So each state or union territory with state legislature, each will have separate SGST Act. So yeah, 31 acts are done. So what are other 4 acts? Other 4 acts are CGST, State GST, State Goods and Services Tax, Central Goods and Services Tax, IGST, Integrated Goods and Services Tax, SGST, CGST, IGST, UTGST, Union Territory Goods and Services Act, and at last we have our GST Compensation Cess Act. So what is this GST Compensation Cess Act? We'll discuss this a little later. So all those things we'll discuss it a little later, but basically these are the acts which we have in GST. So we have to learn only these CGST provisions mostly. A little bit of IGST provisions may be there here and there. So we just have to focus on these things. State GST will not be asked in the exam. Only CGST section numbers will be asked in the exam. CGST provisions and little bit of IGST. That's it. And GST compensation is also important. That's a simple topic. We'll learn about that. And notifications, direct government will issue notifications, same like income tax notification circulars, except here we don't have CBDT in case of GST. We'll have, in spite of this, we'll have Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. We'll have CBIC here. That's it. That's the difference between both. I hope it is clear to you. DT and IDT, these are the study material part. We are done with study material part. We are done with this. Now let's move to statutory updates. So okay, so earlier to this scheme, please, this is amendment part and this is very important. So earlier to this scheme, right now the scheme is ICAI will conduct exams thrice a year. Earlier to this scheme, there is only exams are only twice a year. In which months? May and November. Okay. So if let's assume we are in 2024. We are in 2024 actually. For 2024, let's assume we are in old scheme itself. May and November attempts are there till now. So this is 2024, 1st April. Okay, this is May. We have exam here. This is November. We have exam here. So this is 2024. So for these exams, the Finance Act applicable. So for these exams, the Finance Act applicable is 1st April 2023. This Feb 29th, 28, 2023. So this Finance Act will be applicable here, Feb 2023, and this is the previous year, and this is the assessment year. So in assessment year, how we are going to implement this Feb 2023 previous year? So that's what they'll test in your exam, so that you will be very much in line with the practical thing. So in assessment year, all the CAs in the tax audit use this Finance Act 2023 to calculate the tax part, and you will be clearing your exam on May or November, and you will be very much in line with this professionals. So that's what ICAI seeked, and ICAI wanted you guys to learn that way. So that's how it will happen every year. So if in this year, in 2024, there is an exam, means the Finance Act of 2023 will apply. Here there is exam, means the Finance Act of last year will apply generally. This is the concept. And apart from this, what happens is, from May, so here in May our exams, right? So in October 2023, so back to October 2023 till Finance Act will be passed in Feb itself, right? So in this span there may be some important changes. Okay, those significant changes, if ICAI wants you to learn those significant changes, if there are any significant changes in that gap, if ICAI wants you guys to learn that significant examination updates, ICAI will give that in statutory update to you guys. So yeah, before exam, ICAI will give you some important updates if they are applicable for your exam. Those updates Updates will be nothing but notifications and circulars that are given in this span if they are important to your exam. That is 6 months before your exam. Why? Because every day there will be a new update. You shouldn't get confused because of that. So what I say have done is, so you won't be tested from last 6 months updates. You will be tested only updates which have been issued before 6 months. These 6 months updates will not be asked to you. Before these 6 months itself, if there are any updates and if they are significant, and if ICAI feels that they are significant, then ICAI will let you know by giving a statutory update regarding them, and they will be given in RTPs too. That way you will know that what are the important notification circulars and what are the amendments which will be applicable for your exam. Don't worry, I'll be there to help you regarding that, and I'll be there to help you regarding the study material too, vast study material too. So yeah, we are done with statutory update things, study material and RTPs. MTPs, you already know that, mock test papers. MTPs are nothing but mock test papers. You have to practice that, and previous examination questions you have to practice that too. So yeah, I hope it is clear to you guys, and thank you very much. I think I have done my part regarding this acts and laws, and all the best for you. Let's meet in the next class. Please do share, like and subscribe if you like the concept. Thank you.